good morning, everybody. It is Saturday, February 29th. It's leap year, so we won't be having this conversation on this day again for another 4 years. But I wanted to update you on what's going on with my health quest. Just want to talk about a few different things today. Let's start right with the stats and where I am weight-wise. When I talked to you on the 20th, I had weighed, let's see here. Excuse me, yeah, on the 20th, I was 320 pounds. I had been fasting since the 17th, not fasting straight, but doing the intermittent fasting mixed up with my ketogenic diet. As of yesterday, I came in at 317 pounds, so I was down another 3 pounds. So it looks like from 317 to 329, which was 12 days, I was down 7 pounds. So that was pretty successful. I consider it was only 12 days. That's great, actually. So for the month of February, on January 31st, I weighed 326 at 42.9% body fat. I don't know if these scales you buy, for home are that accurate on the body fat, but we'll see. And then on 228, normally, which would be the last day of the month, I was 317. So it was total of 9 pounds lost for the month, which is for me, I think it's a great loss. I'm shooting for at least 10 pounds a month, which I think is reasonable for somebody my size. And my body fat was 42.3%, so it went down 0.6% in body fat. I also, I'm 2 more belt loops too. Like I can tell that, I'm losing a lot of weight, up in here mostly. My lower stomach is still really big, which ticks me off because that's the thing I really want to lose the most. But that's okay. I mean, I'm losing, so that's all that's important. I'm just going to go over a few different things with you today. So as you know, the ketogenic diet is high in fats, healthy fats. So again, coconut oil, olive oil, MCT oil, any kind of animal fats, butter, whole dairy products, full fat dairy products, like heavy cream and stuff like that. I'm going to talk a little bit more about the dairy toward the end of this video and what I'm going to change up there. Again, and I just want to preface this all with saying, listen, I'm no physician. I'm telling you what I'm doing, what's working for me. I'm under the care of physicians. They're aware of my choices in regards to my diet and so forth, but I do recommend that you have your own physician, that you see them regularly, that you get your blood work done regularly. If you're diabetic or even pre-diabetic, keto and intermittent fasting is good for you. It's been proven, but that's something you definitely want to discuss with your physician, okay? So don't just jump into this without carefully making those decisions. So again, this is what I'm doing, what's working for me, and just my hopefully success story when we're all done with this. So at any rate, I just want to go over some things. So the ketogenic diet, like I said, with the healthy fats is very important. It's like 70% of your diet, which seems ridiculous, but it's not that hard to do. About 25% protein, and about 5% of your calories come from carbs. Not that we count calories. I don't track those macronutrients, are called, anymore too much. I've done keto long enough before in the past where I know what I can eat and what I can't eat, and I usually come pretty close to those macronutrients. The most important thing is reducing those carbohydrates, especially processed carbohydrates, no sugars, no flours, any kind of grains at all, no fruit, no starchy vegetables like potatoes. Carrots aren't so bad, but preferably not. No corn, stuff like that. I know all the good ones, right? But leafy green vegetables and stuff like that, those are very good for you. And though there's carbs in them, there's a lot of fiber, so it offsets it. Because when you take your total carbs in an item and then you subtract off any fiber, and that gives you your net carbs. I try to shoot to stay under about 20 net carbs a day. That's the most effective for getting into keto, into ketosis, as I call it, and getting into a weight loss. And then like I said, a couple weeks ago almost, I've started the intermittent fasting. I started reading this book. I've been following this guy on YouTube. He's a physician out of Canada. It's called The Obesity Code. I don't know if this is going to be in reverse when you look at this book, but at any rate, The Obesity Code by Jason Fung, Unlocking the Secrets of Weight Loss. This is phenomenal. I am not a big reader at all. I do not like to read. but I can't put this book down. It's full of great information. It's cited with all these different scientific studies and stuff. It's well cited. And it's amazing. This guy is a nephrologist, which is a kidney specialist out of a hospital in Toronto, Canada. And he has a clinic now specifically for helping people get off diabetic medication and insulin and lose weight just with intermittent fasting. He does promote doing the ketogenic diet with it. He says it's much more effective, but even without it and eating carbs and doing the intermittent fasting, they're having great success with people losing weight and getting healthier and not being diabetic anymore, believe it or not. But this guy's got some good credentials. Like I said, he's head of a big nephrology wing of the Toronto Hospital, did his internship at UCLA. But definitely recommend this book. It has a lot of stuff you need to know about the fasting toward the end of it and stuff and eating. But again, I'm going to go over some of what's been going on with me with the fasting and so forth. So the first week, I have to admit, it was rough, not in regard to being hungry. There was the hunger pains that I would get. I wouldn't really call them pains, but that hungry feeling, a growly feeling in your stomach. Probably like in some of my fasts, the highest I fasted were 23 hours on 2 days with nothing but water, pretty much. And I would say, let's say if I stopped eating at 8 o'clock the night before, probably by noon the next day, I'd start to feel kind of hungry and so forth. And there's a couple days that I was going to do beyond just the 18-hour fast and try to do the 23, but I got hungry. I gave in. But I thought it was good because an 18-hour fasting period with a 6-hour eating window in your day is actually really good. So that's fine. I didn't beat myself up. We screw up, we make mistakes. What can I have while I'm fasting? Okay, so water, of course, whether sparkling or regular. You can add lemon or lime to it. There's no problem with that. No artificial sweeteners, though. And that's hard because I do not like the taste of plain water. But you have to be careful when you're fasting, especially for longer periods, that your salt gets depleted quick, and those are part of your electrolytes, and you don't want to lose those. It may give you a headache, make you feel a little bit lightheaded. That's not necessarily your sugar. People think that, but it's not. I checked my sugar and my glucose meter, throughout the day while I was doing this, just to make sure that I was okay, and it's been fine. And I'll come back to that about my sugar readings. And so I put a little salt in the water. If you're doing a ketogenic diet and you're doing intermittent fasting, you should have probably, I know this is going to sound crazy because they've always said salt's so bad for you. And remember, I have high blood pressure on medication for it, but up to 2 to 3 tablespoons a day through your food and adding it to your water and stuff is probably good because, again, you will deplete a lot of salt and you don't want to do that. You're in more danger from not having enough salt when you're intermittent fasting and doing keto than you are of having too much, okay? The whole salt study that was done years ago isn't even accurate anymore in regard to having any problems with your blood pressure. Again, I'm not a doctor. Some may disagree. I've read a lot of new studies and stuff from physicians who show that salt is really not a problem, especially if you're on this type of diet and lifestyle. So I would add salt to my water a little bit, and that actually helped to go down better. If I felt like I was getting a little bit of a headache, I knew that I needed more water and a little bit more salt, and I did that. Some people drink pickle juice, weirdly enough, and it helps them, and the headache goes away. So I use this Mediterranean sea salt or pink Himalayan salt. It's better because it has more nutrients in it than just regular table salt, which has iodine in it. And actually, some table salts have a form of sugar in them, crazy enough. You want to stay away from that. So I do that with my water. I also bought this Youth and Tonic keto-friendly high-absorption electrolyte formula. And we'll see if I can read this without my glasses. But it's got vitamin D, vitamin B6, calcium, phosphorus, magnesium, zinc, manganese. Again, my eyes aren't too good. Sodium, chloride. I'm going to put my glasses on here and take a look. Yeah. So, anyways, I take one of these on days where I'm doing the intermittent fasting in the mornings. In the mornings, I also take some of this. No, I'm just kidding. It's my dog's medicine. I take in Alive Men's Energy, so this also has potassium in it, which is part of your electrolytes. So I take a multivitamin, apple cider vinegar, which I'll get into in a future video. I mean, people try to do just apple cider vinegar and think they're going to just lose all this weight. There has been definitely evidence that shows this helps you lose weight. It helps you with insulin resistance issues and stuff. So this is good for you, and the capsules are just as good, I found, as taking it by a spoonful with water. And actually, when you take just straight apple cider vinegar, you got to be careful because it can ruin the enamel on your teeth and cause, like, caustic things in your throat and stuff. So this is better because just go straight down into your stomach, and then you're fine once it gets down there, and it makes it much more palatable. So I would recommend that. So that's pretty much what I take beside my blood pressure medicines when I'm fasting. Another thing is you can have any kind of coffee. Again, no sweeteners, no sugar. You can put like heavy cream in it, or a little bit of cinnamon, some people do, and so forth. Any kind of bone broth. Bone broth is broth that's cooked down from the bones of like beef or chicken. You can buy it in the store now. I do get some at Walmart because I don't really feel like taking the time to make it, which I'm probably going to make some because I got some bones from a local butcher this week. But bone broth you can have, and again, add salt to it and pepper for flavor. Vegetable broth, same thing, not with the vegetables themselves, but just the broth made from vegetable broth. And that's pretty much it. But what I found out this week was, after doing these longer fasts for the first time, I was like really hungry when I got out of it. So I would have these big meals because you got to get all your calories in within your eating window still. You don't want to starve yourself. And I was finding that like I had to get to the bathroom like within an hour. Like, I'm just saying, it was really bad. Like, I had to go. It was, not to be gross, but it was watery, diarrhea, and it was rough. Like, I didn't really feel sick, but I was like, man, I had to go. And so what I learned after doing that 3 or 4 times was that you kind of need to break those fasts gently. You cannot, your system has been shut down. Your digestive system has basically been asleep for 18 hours or more, and now you need to gently. So I would learn to kind of start in a little bit of more bone broth, and then I would introduce just a little bit of food at a time, nothing too rough on the stomach, no dairy or anything like that, and just kind of gently ease into my eating again. And then I was fine, and I've been fine since then. That's only happened like 3 or 4 times, and as I learned my lesson. It's just like, especially if you're out in public, that's not a lesson you want to learn. So that's a little bit about what's been going on with the fasting. Trying to think of what else I want to tell you. I guess I'm just going to continue down this road. Oh, the biggest news, I guess, is so I haven't fasted beyond 23 hours, and I finally decided it's like, I can do a 36-hour fast because it's actually much better for you once you break that 24-hour mark. Okay, I'm not going to sit here and talk about extreme fasting like, even 2 or 3 or 4 days. Some people do weeks, honestly, and it's safe if you do it right, supervised by a physician. But 36-hour fasts are great, like a couple times a week, and that's what I'm shooting for. So I'm like, man, I don't know if I can do this. So the last time I had eaten was Thursday night. Today's Saturday. I ate Thursday night at 10 p.m. And I don't usually eat that late, but I did. And I thought, well, this is good because this will be a good fast for me. So got through the next day. I had bone broth a couple times yesterday when I was feeling a little bit hungry. But I got that hunger twangs early in the afternoon, like 1 or 2 o'clock. I wrote it out. It went away. I was fine. I had energy. I was awake. I wasn't tired. Again, last evening I was preparing some dinner for my daughter. She also does keto, and she's not doing the fasting. And so I'm cooking it, and I'm like, oh man, I was making hot wings in the oven. It's like, it smelled so good, and I wanted to eat so bad. I was going to break that fast, which would have been fine. I'm not under any strict guidelines. This is something I'm doing voluntarily, but man, I wanted to eat those wings. And I didn't do it. I was proud of myself. I just drank water, had more bone broth. As I went through the evening last night, I hit that 24-hour mark, and I was like, man, I did it. And it's like, I was hungry, but again, just drank my water and so forth. Went to bed like 11:30, I think. Got up this morning. I actually slept really good last night, which I toss and turn a lot normally, or get up to use the restroom a lot. I have a lot of aches and pains in bed with my back, especially at night, and I didn't really have any of that last night, which was amazing. I don't know if it's the fasting, but I can't help but think it may have contributed to it in some good way. So I had a good night's sleep. Got up this morning, couldn't really sleep past 7:30. And I'm not gonna lie, I'm anxiously waiting. It is 8:30 now, so an hour and a half before I hit 36 hours of fasting with just water and bone broth, and only a couple, cups of bone broth yesterday. And I feel good. I feel really good. I remember the days even before I was on keto when mornings were rough for me, man. I wasn't like I'd get up at 7 and I did not really feel good at all in my body, my stomach, anything till 11 o'clock or so, not even awake. And I just have so much more energy now, and I'm just so much more focused. Like my mind is sharp on things. Um, it's just amazing how it changes you. And I just ask you, if you're gonna get any book, it's like $14. Is like get this Obesity Code by Jason Fung or watch some of his videos on YouTube. I mean, this is changing my life. I also have to be careful here, so I don't want to say too much. But it was a rough week. I didn't do any exercise at all this week, which I normally would do at least 3 or 4 times a week. But I had a physician visit Monday that didn't go very well about another issue that has nothing to do with diet, and it really kind of opened my eyes to becoming even healthier. And so I purchased another book this week, and I may go into this in the future as to exactly what's going on, but I'll give you a little bit of heads up. But this is called the Walls Protocol by this Dr. Terry Walls, and it's about treating all chronic autoimmune conditions using paleo principles. So I'm probably going to slide slowly into a paleo keto type of diet, which she talks about in her book, and move toward that, eating even a lot more healthier than I am now, but still keeping it keto until I get the weight loss, and then incorporating more of the differences that are in paleo. So paleo is very close to keto. I guess the only difference is there's no dairy, which I've been wanting to exclude for a while anyway, because it's very inflammatory and I'm lactose intolerant. But cheese makes keto much more tolerable for you if you're doing it for the first time. So I'm going to work my way into that. And the other difference is you can have fruits under the paleo diet. So I'm not doing fruits now because they're too high in sugars and carbs, and it's just going to go against my weight loss goal. Once I get down to my goal weight and stuff, absolutely, I'm probably going to move this strictly paleo, and we'll have some fruit and continue with the intermittent fasting. So that is pretty much it. I hope some of this information has been useful to you or inspiring. I'm doing well. Like I said, I'm 2 months in. Sorry, that was my cat. I'm 2 months in and about 20 pounds down. So I'm pretty much sticking on goal. Sorry about the cat tail, but I just hope that you guys, think about your life and think about, what you want from it. And, that's the thing is it's a mental thing too. I've talked to some other people about what I do, and friends and family. And what I hear the most is about keto and stuff and intermittent fasting is I can't do it. I can't do it. Listen to me, man. I am the king of can't. All right. I've been overweight my whole life, and I easily get dissuaded from doing things because I think I can't do it. I can't do it. I just can't do it. But you can do it, man. You can do anything that you put your mind to. And I know that sounds so cliche, but it's so true. I mean, for me to go 36 freaking hours without food, that's crazy. It's like I would have never believed that a couple of years ago. It's like don't eat for 36 hours. It's like, no, I'll starve. Oh my gosh, what will happen to me? And no, man, you can do anything you put your mind to, and you got to get your mind right. It's like, what do you really want out of life? It's like, where do you want to be health wise? It's like, are you tired of having to try to find fat clothes, and never finding anything that fits right, or not being stylish, or looking terrible, or always being self-conscious of the way you look in public or when you go to the pool? Are you tired of taking high blood pressure medicine? Are you tired of being sick and at the doctor all the time? Are you tired of feeling like crap all the time? Is there somebody that you love so much, your child, your spouse, your parents, your friends, that you just, you want to be there for them and you want to help them and be there, but you can't because you've got too many problems of your own? Are you tired of not enjoying the things you see other people enjoying in life because you're too fat and you're too out of shape to do it and you get too out of breath? Are you tired of bending over and not being able to tie your shoes without getting out of breath? I mean, are you tired of this stuff? Are you really, really tired of it more than you say you can't do it? Because you can do this. And I really have confidence that it doesn't matter who you are, you can do this. So I'm just trying to be an inspiration to you guys out there. I don't even know you, and I know some of you that'll be watching this. And listen, I don't have a big following now. I have like 7 followers, but I hope to get more because I hope to get more people on the right track. Now, do I know if I'm going to be completely successful at this in a year? I don't know. I mean, I've tried this before and I failed, but I feel more determined, and I especially feel a lot more determined after my doctor's visit on Monday. Um, it was scary, and but I'm gonna get through this, and I'm gonna do it on my terms, and I'm gonna do it, and I'm gonna be stronger for it. And I mean, that's pretty much it, man. I love you guys. I will check in about a week, see where we are again, and we'll just continue this journey. You guys have a wonderful weekend.